Are you ready to become awesomer? Hello everyone, my name is Umar Hamid. I'm your host on the No Limit Selling podcast, where industry leaders share their tips, strategy, and advice on how you can become better, stronger, faster. Just before we get started, I've got a question for you. Do you have a negative voice inside your head? We all do, right? I'm going to help you remove that voice in under 30 days guaranteed. Not only remove it, but transform it. So instead of the voice that sabotages you, there's one that propels you to much higher levels of performance and success. There's a link in the show notes. Click on it to find out more. All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the No Limit Selling podcast. I'm your host, Umar Hamid, and today we have the privilege of having Kat, the brains of the outfit, and Darren, her henchman, joining us today. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Brilliant. So you're in Sudbury, right?
Absolutely. Sudbury, Ontario, which is about 4 hours north of Toronto.
Is there a lot of nickel mining there or something in Sudbury?
It's nickel capital of the world, right? So Elon Musk is down here now, and electric cars are going to be, well, the batteries anyways, the metals for them are going to be pumped out of here like crazy. So it's
lots of exciting things for Sudbury.
And so, fun fact, back in the days when, Neil Armstrong went to the moon, they had the lunar rover, and they actually brought it to Sudbury to mimic the surface of the moon, which is like, hey, go Canada. I'm a Canadian too, by the way.
So that test site is just around the corner from us, and we could, the kids still visit it. So the NASA test site.
Yeah.
When he went to the moon, I was a little kid in the UK in the middle of the night on a black and white TV watching this. And there was a part of me that knew a monster was going to come and nab him. And so I was so thankful that didn't happen, but a little bit disappointed too.
Yeah, of course.
So Sudbury's changed a lot since then, right? So they replanted everything and it doesn't look like a lunar escape anymore. So we have, as you can see, big beautiful trees.
Beautiful.
Now.
Mm-hmm. We have 330 lakes surrounding within Sudbury. So if you were actually to fly in, you would see, just how green it is, but also just so many incredible bodies of water. It's such a beautiful place to live.
So we're going to talk real estate in a second, but I had a friend that moved out there and she purchased a home on one of those lakes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And about 2 weeks before she moved in, there was a fire and the house went up in flames.
No.
And so for the homeowners, it was like, super tragic. And they were like, we want to back out of this deal because we want to rebuild this house and stay here. And the contract's already done. So she ended up rebuilding the house and getting a brand new house on the lake. And I went up there and it was just gorgeous. It was like going to the lake and little islands with blueberries and magic. So you guys have been in the real estate business for how long?
So I've been in it for about 20 years. Catherine has been in it for about 3 years, correct?
Well, 3 years actually selling, but I've always been alongside with Darren, more on the administrative side. But as things really started to progress with us in terms of business, then it just naturally happened, right? He was running with his head cut off. And so I just figured I'd jump in and help him out.
Attach it back on.
You got it.
And the business,
you got it.
And the business transformed itself once Catherine came on. So we doubled our business year over year for the past 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
High five for both of you.
Yeah, thank you. So we've grown into a small powerhouse here in the city, and so we're loving it. Last year we did 122 deals and about $78 million in volume, and it was basically the two of us with one assistant at the time. So we were running, we were going, and now we're starting to just grow out our team, and more and more people are coming on. So
nice. How many people in the team?
Right now, we just hired a new social media girl, and we have one buyer agent.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're being cautious, right? We could grow very quickly, but we don't want to lose that kind of. How do we say that? We don't want to lose that.
We run a very tight ship, and we're very calculated about all the moves that we make. So Darren and I, so like he said, for the past 5 years, we really transitioned our business, but that's because we treat it like a business and we're very serious. We have a certain level of customer service and care that we like to provide. So bringing other people on, we want to make sure that we don't lose that integrity. But also as we bring other agents on, which is the ultimate goal, and then to grow the core, we want to make sure as we bring them on, we're able to feed everybody because everybody knows the quality of your work. And making sure that everybody feels fulfilled. So, taking other people on, knowing what their goals are. We're huge communicators. We want everybody to feel good, successful. Progression is always happening. So these are things that, we're considering as we grow. So just because it's important to us, and it should be important to the agents that we're bringing on as well.
And culture is very important too, right?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that our group is very well connected and
So culture is really important for like several reasons. Number one, when you've got a group, but two, just really defining it and knowing exactly what it is, because it's so easy to stray from it yourselves.
Yep.
Because, as things get busy, it's like, oh, we'll just do this. But when you have it well defined, it's like, no, it's out of our scope. Or wait a minute, our culture is X, Y, Z, and this is going to violate that. And then once you guys are living and breathing it, then it's easier to get people to come in because you guys become the poster children to demonstrate it every day. I was just working with a construction company, and they've got these standards on their walls. And it's like, oh, we got these standards. What do you think about those? And it's like, too complicated. It's like, they need to be like really, really simple. And you need to exemplify every single week, like this construction worker fulfill this standard. And this is what it means. Because it's like when you bring it to life is when people really understand it. When it's just like words on a wall, they just stay there. Because in Sudbury right now, there's corporations all over that city that have similar things on their wall: integrity, work ethic, our customers. You ask their employees, do you guys actually do that? It's like, nah, we don't. And it sounds like what you guys are trying to do is build something real and alive.
Yeah.
And so if a customer deals with Kat or the third agent you bring on board, they shouldn't be able to tell the difference. There'll be a personality difference.
Exactly.
But the quality of care and the culture you guys define, they kind of go, this is what this team's all about. And I'm happy I'm part of it.
That's right.
absolutely,
You got
100%.
Can you tell my wife that I was right?
Well, we're celebrating 25 years together.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
congratulations.
yeah,
That's
thank
really
you.
exciting.
Yeah, it's something to be proud of for sure. Considering we work together, like we do everything together. So, and still together, which is kind of monumental.
Yeah. And one of the things that's kind of interesting is because I worked with my wife for many years, and it was very much just, I was the guy that's like, hey, let's go do this. And she's the person saying, hold on, sailor.
Yeah.
We need to build an infrastructure before you go there. Or sometimes she would build the infrastructure as I'm heading out. And if it was all up to me, we would have crashed and burned a long time ago. If it was all up to her, we wouldn't have done anything. We would have been really cautious. And so how do you guys fit together? What do you bring to the table, Kat? And what does Darren bring that, one and one don't equal two, they equal 11?
So it's kind of funny because you kind of hit it on the head when you said that. So Darren is, together, we both bring a lot of creative ideas, but putting it into play, obviously you have to have that infrastructure, right? Because you have to be able to support it as you're moving along. So, I think it's not to say that, he's the one that puts all the processes in place. I think we work together equally. I'm huge on customer service because I just feel like as the world keeps progressing, technology and all these things, and that human connection seems to be very few and far in between. And it's really important to me because I know even on my day-to-day things that I have to do as an individual, services that I need from other people, I just feel we're getting less and less and less of that. So when you do get it, it's like a breath of fresh air. Right. So, and we want our clients to feel exactly the same. Darren obviously has way more experience in terms of the real estate industry because he's been in it longer. So I often find myself, I sit back and I just listen to him with the clients, and it just blows me away, just like the amount of information and knowledge that he has, not just on the real estate side, but building with the legal, the mortgages. Like he's very well read and he's very experienced. And through these I can see the relationship forming very, very strongly between him and his clients because they feel and they trust him because of the information that they're able to get from him. They defer to him for so many things. So obviously Darren brings all that knowledge and that support to his clients. I think for me, because I'm newer, maybe a little bit more energy. So he made a very conscious decision that he wanted to be very focused on listings. I'm very excited to be in this new industry, and I really enjoy working with the buyers. So I'm more out there. I see more homes. I see the prices in which they're listed. I see what they sell at, and just communicating with the other agents in terms of, what did, when those deals came together, what did it all entail? So I'm able to bring that over to Darren because he's more focused on the listing side, but also, putting that infrastructure together as we bring more people on, putting those processes in place. So I think, I don't know if we're a mix. We're a real mix
Nice.
of everything. Yeah.
Brilliant. So one of the things you brought up was customer service, and what's going, really disappointing these days is when somebody gets average customer service that would have been, at best average, 20 years ago. It's
Yep.
like, oh my God, the customer service here is so great. And it's like, no, that's
Yep.
like, we've lowered the bar.
We
But
have.
at the same time, so you already know this, but I'm going to tell you the secret anyway.
Yep.
One of the places to hire kick-ass amazing realtors to join your team
Mhm.
are at restaurants.
Yeah.
The wait
Yes.
staff and the bartenders. You see somebody with like great customer service.
Yep.
I've got one of my real estate clients, and they've got some of their rock stars that are doing like 80 transactions themselves, have
Mhm.
come out of the food industry, and they just were hired for, oh my God, such amazing customer service. And you give them an opportunity to build a career for their families. Sometimes those people shine brightly.
Mhm. You got it. You got it.
Yeah, and thinking outside of the box, right? And I think we always use Tony Robbins' message was give without a hook, right? And we
Mhm.
kind of turned our whole business around, and for marketing purposes, we just market the customer's property and
Mhm.
just the customer property. 100% of our marketing dollars goes into the customer's property.
Mhm.
We got no benches, no billboards, nothing personal.
You don't have
about us.
anybody sitting on your face with their
Nothing.
butt in the bench.
No.
Nothing.
How disappointing.
Nothing, because it doesn't, for us, it was like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to sound rude, but it's all very self-serving, right? So, and then we look at we look at a lot of real estate agents, and they market themselves, but they do nothing to get that property sold, right? And that customer that's their most valuable asset. They're like, how are you going to get our property sold? What are you doing other than just throwing it on Realtor
Right.
or MLS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A-
And I guess
we're-
it's the focus. Yeah.
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 And,
You're back-
and we're not just saying it, we're showing them, right? Like, I can't tell
Nice.
you, like, we're very big into our videos with the homes, whether or not people are actually looking for real estate or not. We've created quite the following in terms of through our
Nice.
videos, because they just love, like, either you love it or you hate it, but people are watching and they're anticipating the next video. Like, what are they going to do in the next video, kind of thing. So
And
I
but
love
it
that.
yeah, and it really and it does do an exceptional job in displaying that home, and that's why we've had so many successful sales on these properties.
Love it. So how do you maintain a relationship with your previous clients? Like, what does that look like?
We do a handful of things, really. So,
I'll take it.
okay.
How's that? So pre-COVID, we did one thing that was really fun. We rented a movie theater,
Nice.
and we were the first to premiere the movie Frozen.
Yeah.
Before anybody in the city saw it, we bought the theater at 9 a.m. and asked all our previous clients to come. All
Love
their
it.
kids dressed up as Elsa. We did free popcorn, free everything, and we just kind of had this kind of magical moment for the kids, and it was nothing real estate. We didn't talk about real estate, nothing. We just gave, and everyone just had a great time, and everyone still talks about it. And the fact that we showed this movie before anybody in the whole city saw it,
that's
so
huge.
it was really fun.
Yeah. So just creating family events, but then also for family holidays, through a local bakery, we organize with them, and we do pies. So we'll have the local bakery make apple and pumpkin pies. We'll send out an email to all our clients, and we'll say, what would you prefer, pumpkin or apple pie? Send it out, and they'll RSVP, and then they come by and they pick it up. And that's just our way of saying thanks,
But it-
Oh, that's
and
brilliant.
and I will say, actually,
They
I mean,
talk-
they do love the family events, but that extra touch of like have a locally baked pie and bring it to your family goes beyond. Like people love that idea. And then of course, end of year, we do just nice little gifts, drop them off at their door. And
Diego.
So just little things like little tokens, right?
Nice. I love that.
You know, even though the transaction is done, does not mean we're not thinking about you. And that's another thing. We'll do the random calls just to check in. Hey, how you doing?
I think this is the one that I kind of, the one that for me is that I'm really excited about is the day of closing. And a lot of agents are afraid to call on the day of closing because they're worried about what the problems are going to be.
Yes.
And all that kind of stuff. So they run and they hide, right? I'm like excited for problems, right? Because that's my opportunity to shine. So if there's a problem on closing,
I'm here to save the day.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So we had one, just to give you a perfect example, on closing. Darren, like they moved in, they can't find the garage remote, they can't operate it, it's all missing. You know, what do? We call our contractor, go to Home Depot, grab a garage door opener and just go there and install it. And they were never expecting that.
Yeah.
But you know, it's taken care of. And
It's
so
a
we've done
non-issue.
little things
Yeah.
like that where we have
love that.
problems, right?
Yeah.
Catherine did one where the people moved in and the lady was pregnant with kids, and the sellers left from, not our sellers, but another sellers left the home in disarray. Catherine hired a crew of cleaners, got there right away, and they cleaned the home.
Yeah.
And we're talking a multi-million-dollar home. So it wasn't, you know,
Our biggest thing, you know, people call us and they're quite frantic, and we recognize the high level stress moment. And our biggest thing is, don't worry, there's always a solution. Always a solution. And then they just kind of pause and take a breath and they're like, okay, we got this. And then that's what Darren and I do. Like, we don't panic. We create the solution, we fix it.
Love it.
And that's honestly how our clients feel. Just done.
Yep.
Done.
Right.
All right. So let's change directions here.
Sure.
Hey, bravo for doing that. You know, stepping up, and it's a bunch of nice bullshit. You know, we're going to be here for you. We're going to look after you. Everybody says that. There's people that step up and do it. Is legendary. So kudos for that. So I'm going to pick a random number. Let's pick the number 5. 5.
Okay.
What are 5 tips for working with your spouse that leads to a great working relationship and a great personal relationship?
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Love it. What's number 2?
Well, I mean, this is a no-brainer. Like I say it, but at the same time, people don't do it. Communication is key. Everything. And absolutely everything.
Stay in your lane. Great communications. What else?
What else, Darren?
It's weird because you're asking me this question and I'm trying to think back, and it's just kind of, you don't think of how to walk, right? You just walk, right? So you're trying to explain the process of how to walking to some, it's just, we kind of just always done it, right? And I think Catherine said it right. We stay in each other's lane, and we bring different kind of expertise to the table. We never give price evaluations without going back and debating the property over a glass of wine, because she sees things very differently than I see things, where she is, I'm saying this in a beautiful kind of a way, but more of a touchy feely kind of organic kind of feel, and how the home speaks to her, where I'm very mechanical, right? And so
just the facts, man.
Yeah, just the facts, right? But the facts aren't always right? So then we'll come back and debate it out, and we come up with
I think we're very because we're both, don't get me wrong, we're both very headstrong. Like, we're two very strong individuals, and I think we try, and so if we can't come to some sort of terms in agreement, we have a little humor in our, if we can't come to, if we're debating something out, we're not agreeing, I think we spin it into a more humorous way and more suggestive, right?
Nice.
But there's certain things, like, we're very flexible too, I would say. If it's not that I'm confident in the things that I want, but I could also be easily convinced if you state your case.
Nice. So I'm going to finish the list off for you. So it's stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Great communications.
Yeah.
What you just said, which was wasn't flexible. Was it flexible?
Flexible and suggestive. Yeah.
Flexible in what you do.
I think we push each other too.
Oh yeah.
Right. We push each other into uncomfortable situations. She pushed me into an uncomfortable situation, and I pushed her back into uncomfortable situations. For example, our videos. In the very beginning, we did a video. I'm like, okay, like, we're not going to do this all the time, right? And then Catherine's like, no, every
we
home
are.
gets one. I'm
Every
like,
home gets
are you
one.
kidding me? No, I don't think we should do that.
Okay,
No,
we're gonna
every
put a
home
link
gets
to
one.
a few of those videos in the show notes so people can see those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So flexibility and then
Mhm.
respectful
Oh, yeah.
driving other people to kind of
Yep.
be uncomfortable. And the fifth
Mhm.
one, I'm gonna just make one up, and it's like makeup sex.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, you know what? There's times where, we've had days where, at night we go and lay down and we're just like a solid high five. Like, how did we even survive this day?
Yeah,
What
that's amazing.
we did in a day, some people don't even accomplish in a month. And it's just like mind blowing.
Love that. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for being on the show. There's 2 more questions I have for you.
Sure.
Yeah,
Actually,
for
3.
sure. Yeah.
I lied. I'm a politician. 3 questions. Number 1, for each one of you, what makes you happy?
Family.
Darren?
Giving.
Yeah.
Second question, what's one tip you would share with the world that would allow them, like a mind hack, allow them to be happier, more productive, sleep better, look better, smell better? Like, what would be the tip you'd give someone?
For me is communication and being honest with your spouse.
Nice, for sure.
So, I mean, happiness stems from inside, and I think you need to make space for yourself in a very loud world. So I think,
Love it.
making that time for yourself, however you choose to spend it, but just sitting quiet, and because I think that's when you really figure out who you are, the things that you want, the goals that you're going to strive for. So being quiet. People don't know how to be quiet anymore.
So Kat, just write this down as soon as we end this broadcast.
Okay.
It was Being Quiet in a Loud World. That could be your book.
Yeah.
That's a kick-ass amazing title.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's the last question.
Okay.
What's a question I should have asked you that I did not?
Maybe what was the one, maybe just because we transformed our business so much, what was the one thing? Well, there's never just one thing, but what was that thing that really pushed us into a new category? I would probably say it was the consistency of our videos.
Love it. Thank you so much for being on the program. I had a ball chatting with you guys.
Awesome.
And I'm looking forward to
pleasure.
our next conversation.
Absolutely.
Looking
It
forward
was
to it.
great.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
If you enjoyed this episode, please go to iTunes and leave a 5-star rating. And if you're looking for more tools, go to my website at nolimitselling.com. I've got a free mind training course there that's going to teach you some insights from the world of neuro-linguistic programming, and that is the fastest way to get better results.